So our first review is Talk to Me. And this is a film that I have really managed to avoid because I am terrified of the trailer alone gives me horrendous goosebumps. Do you want to tell us a bit about it before we go into the trailer?
I think you're right about avoiding this one.
Really?
I think I even told you I think this is going to be maybe a bit much, but I would love for you to see it because it is, I genuinely have not been so excited about an original horror movie in a while.
Okay.
This is the debut feature by twin filmmaker brothers, Danny and Michael Filippo, who really made their name through a very popular YouTube channel. And this is their first foray into movie making.
They're super young, right?
Very young. I think they're under 30.
Sickeningly young.
No, they're fine. Like if they were under 25,
if
it would be
they're under 30
sickening.
and they've made an incredible movie, it's sickening.
It's really fun. It's really good. I've watched it twice now. I've watched it on a screener. I've watched it in the cinema with people. It is genuinely scary.
So give us the top line and then we'll play a little clip.
It is about a group of teenagers in Australia who start playing around with a hand that allows them to connect with the spirit world. And then something goes awry. They open a door that they cannot close.
Oh no.
You can imagine the rest. Let's hear the trailer.
What did the hand feel like?
Felt amazing. I could see and feel everything on the other side. So my mom, she was trying to reach out. I'm here. Still been saying stuff.
You mean saying stuff?
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it? Oh my god, they followed us. I like him. They're not gonna stop. They're never gonna stop.
I mean, those echoing screams will echo around my brain for a very long time.
I'm actually really glad you bring up the sound because it was one of my favorite things about the film. Yeah. I genuinely think it is such a fresh take on the Ouija board storyline. You know, we're all familiar. I think it's a teenage rite of passage for many, many people around the globe of playing around with the supernatural, you know, and there's variations on how you do it. And the Filippo brothers created a genuinely original new take on how teenagers can connect with the supernatural. In this case, it's sort of a mummified hand that they have to hold and ask the spirit world or, you know, a spirit to talk to me and then essentially get possessed momentarily during a minute and a half by any spirit that they randomly come in contact with. And obviously, this is a familiar premise, especially for teen horror movies. Stuff starts happening, something goes wrong. And what they really smartly do, and I'm really impressed by it as debut filmmakers as well, is that they choose to focus on one lead character, on Mia, who we see in the trailer, played really beautifully by Sophie Wilde. And we kind of, as much as we meet all these kind of teenage fun and brutal in a way that only teenagers can be characters, we then really zero in on her experience and her connection with the supernatural. We also learn that her mom has died, so she's grieving or trying to process death. And then obviously, I don't want to say what happens next. It is genuinely scary. It is spooky. The sound design is magnificent. When I watched it in the cinema, I kept turning around to be like, is someone making a weird noise behind me?
Oh, really?
And then realizing that it was the sound design.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
So I something that I definitely did not pick up when I watched it first on a screener. So it's one of the reasons why I would encourage listeners to go and check it out in a cinema. It is a full-blown horror experience.
For kind of fair weather horror fans, do you think this works, or would you recommend it for more diehard horror fans?
Do you know what? For both, for different reasons.
Okay.
For diehard fans, it's going to be a fresh take on a really familiar concept. It's going to be genuinely an original movie, not a sequel, not a reinvention, not a requel or a remake or anything like that. And it's fun. It's interesting to see a new concept and a new voice in horror filmmaking come to life. And for more lightweight horror fans or people who don't like horror, it is spooky. It's genuinely scary without going down the let's do 7 jump scares per minute kind of route.
So is it jump scary though?
It's got a couple of jumps.
Okay.
But I use the word spooky very deliberately because it builds atmosphere very well.
Right.
It is eerie, it is creepy, but also it does not neglect the fun element of being a teenager that's playing around with forces that they think they can control, but they can't.
Like the sort of light as a feather, stiff as a board we always used to do at our friend's house.
So it has that thing. There's a montage in the movie which is genuinely so fun and so demented and involves talking to spirits. So I think they really, maybe because of their youth and kind of their inexperience, they've thrown so much of that energy, that very YouTube, TikTok kind of social media kind of wild editing energy into the film. And that gives it this real intense rhythm that works really well. And I think the balance of the film will work, especially for more lightweight horror fans or anti-horror people, where you get a respite, you get a little bit of breathing room, you get a character that you can connect with, and you get genuinely a spooky atmosphere.
I'm getting sort of Candyman original vibes from this.
Ooh, that's a good comparison.
I don't mean in terms of content necessarily, but just all of the things you were talking about kind of tick all the similar boxes for me.
Think like original Candyman and The Craft.
Oh, I love that combo.
Maybe you will love it.
Oh, maybe I will. Maybe I'll have to watch it.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would.
There you
I
go.
have done.
Excellent.